The court sentences Mr. Deppa to 60 months of Department of Corrections, followed by 15 years Department of Corrections supervised probation.
Circuit Judge Terrence Perkins sentences 18-year-old Brendan Deppa to 5 years in prison and 15 years of supervised probation for the brutal attack of his paraprofessional at Matanzas High School. Brendan Deppa, who is autistic, was 17 when the attack occurred. Citing previous incidents leading up to the attack, Judge Perkins viewed Deppa's history of violence as chronic, concluding that autism was not the cause.
I also accept Dr. Pritchard's testimony to the extent that violent behavior is not related specifically to an autism spectrum disorder. By that I mean it doesn't cause it. It doesn't mean that you can't have that co-occurring or as part of the presentation, but it's not the cause for it. Violence, bullying, aggression are not associated with the autism spectrum disorder.
State Attorney R.J. Larizza, who attended yesterday's sentencing hearing, shared his perspective on the case in an interview with WNZF.
You know, our job, the state attorney's office, our job is to protect the folks who live in the communities we serve. And it was clearly obvious that even at Brendan Deppa's age as a juvenile, that he was dangerous, violent, aggressive, and he had a history of escalating aggressive, violent behavior. Look, we got to protect the community and hope that while he's in prison, he'll get some help. He certainly got help while he was in these different programs going through the juvenile system and Department of Children and Families, but it didn't work, Rich. It just didn't work. And now we have a victim who had suffered broken ribs, suffered concussion, and a lot of other injuries. And don't forget the toll it takes on her emotionally. So I think it was a good blend of punishment for accountability. He needs to be held accountable for what he did. But also the 15 years of probation will be an opportunity for the Department of Corrections Probation Services to supervise and monitor his participation in a mental health program. Also, whether or not he's prescribed medications, to make sure that he does that, and to ensure that if he violates that probation, if he commits more crimes or fails in his treatment modality, that there's consequences. Sometimes you have to have consequences hanging over somebody's head to ensure that they do what they need to do. So I think Judge Perkins did an excellent job of balancing accountability of punishment with treatment.
Deppa will receive credit for the 18 months served since his February 2023 attack on former Matanzas High School paraprofessional Joan Nadich. Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Wednesday, August 7th.
We are actively in our 2024 hurricane season.
The city of Palm Coast says it's ready for whatever else comes this hurricane season.
Stacey Davis is assistant stormwater maintenance manager. She says crews have already lowered canal levels to create additional storage space for rainfall.
We do this by opening up our weirs that allows the water to drain to the swamps, the intercoastal, and eventually out into the ocean. This allows our system to have a greater capacity to have more rainwater, to stay away from our structures, our buildings, and especially our residential homes.
In addition to lowering canal levels, Davis says crews are managing weeds around the banks as well as newly exposed aquatic vegetation to ensure the canals remain clear and functional. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Daryl Moody.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. We know what's going on inside the Nexus Center, but what's the outside like?
Holly Albanese, the assistant Flagler County administrator, said they wanted to have a Southern-style porch with a big canopy, but the porch was not in the budget. It will still be pretty awesome, though.
So you can have this beautiful canopy, and we'll have tables out there where people can sit.
And then we're back inside.
Inside the pre-function lobby, off of that, will also be a huge state-of-the-art conference center along with a caterer's kitchen so we can hold various events.
Albanese said it will also allow for meals for seniors to be prepared. She said the facility will hold up to 325 people. Free for All Friday is on Fridays at 9 here on WNZF, and it's on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow the library may be small, but it will be high-tech. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.